Welcome back to Daytime at 9. It's time for one of our favorite news segments, Letting You In, where the ladies have been covering everything involving love, relationships, and dating.
And today is no different. Today we're going to be tackling marriage, the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to being wed. And I'd like to introduce you to our experts this morning. This is Michelle Park. She's a lifestyle expert. You've been married for 1 year. You don't have any kiddos, maybe in the future. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. And Melanie Schenkel, she is from thebigmamablog.com, married for 17 years. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
And you do have some kiddos at home.
We do. We have one daughter, so she's 11.
All right. Well, thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having us.
All right, well, let's kick it off. You know, we all want to know the go-to questions. Well, we'll start with Michelle real quick. Let's see. For the better, it's nice to know someone has always had your back, right?
Yeah.
So you say you make a lot of stupid mistakes, but your husband just laughs them off. How does that work for you?
You know, I think that I am kind of like a clumsy human being, so I end up falling a lot and breaking things, and I tend to break everything in our kitchen all the time. And instead of my husband being like, oh my God, you just broke those glasses that cost us so much money, he's always like, oh, you're so clumsy. You're so cute.
That's good. That is better. That's good to know you're not going to get, for lack of a better word here, a spanking for breaking something, right?
Gotta have fun with it. And let's see. And also, I'm never without a date to wedding or functions. When you were single, that was such a huge stress for you, trying to keep up with all that.
And you know, I think that for young single ladies, it's always kind of like, oh, I have to go to another wedding, I have to go to this event, who am I going to bring with me? And then you're like running around trying to find somebody.
I have a husband.
Right now I have I'm like, you are required to come with me. Too bad. Drop your whatever you're
It's
doing.
automatically known. Is it the same for you, Melanie?
Sometimes, but after 17 years, what you'll learn is a lot of times you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a friend. I'm going to let you stay at home. It's not worth it, you know? You learn to fight those battles. All of a sudden, you're like, we don't have to do everything together. Sometimes you'll stay home and my best friend and I'll go. So,
girls' night out, right?
Girls' night
there
out.
You go.
That's
See,
right.
This is going to be interesting to see the difference between 16 years of marriage between the two of you guys. Now, I don't know if you would say you're still in a honeymoon stage, but in the earlier stages, and then something gets a little more established, much more established, they say. So I like how we're taking two different angles here.
Yeah, definitely. What else do we have?
Okay, so, and you like staying home on the weekend watching football, the same that he do. Y'all like the same interest, basically.
Yeah, and it's nice to have someone to, when I was single and in my 20s, it was like, oh, I have to go out, it's a weekend, I have to go do something, And now I'm like, I mean, I would have thought I was so lame if you asked me in my 20s, but now we stay home, we order in some food, we grab a 6-pack of beer, we watch some football. It's awesome.
I used to make fun of mom and dad for that. Like, what are y'all doing?
Like, you guys are so boring.
Oh, yeah. No, that sounds like an ideal weekend to me.
I was going to say, that's 1 year and 17 years are the same in that way.
There you
I will
go.
tell you, that doesn't change.
Get a comfortable couch.
That's it. That's
There
it.
you go. All right, so we're talking for better. Let's talk about you, Melanie. What would you say would be the better part about marriage? Right off the bat, the first thing that comes to mind.
I think just that you've got a built-in cheerleader. You've just got somebody there who's going to have your back. I mean, we just had a thing this week where I was having a hard situation, and just to know that I can immediately call my husband and be like, what do I need to do about this? What are your thoughts? Help me. And you're not alone in making those big decisions, and that they're going to support you. And sometimes as much as you can drive each other crazy,
Oh, yeah.
you know that you're going to come back together and just know that he's going to have my back and take care of me.
Positive reinforcement.
That's it. Yeah, you
Very
just
important.
need that. You need that. So.
It's interesting, earlier you mentioned your friends going out with your girlfriends. How important is having friends a part of your marriage? Having your away time and then your together time?
That's, you know what, it's funny because
balance?
I think you've got to have that balance because I always say, my husband is not my best friend. I know a lot of people say, he is, but it's a different thing. But he doesn't want to talk about stuff. I always say he's never asked me one time my thoughts on Tori Spelling, and that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about with my girlfriend.
So glad we have this recorded. I'm gonna get that clip, that little small clip, and just play it over and over. Okay,
that's
go ahead.
it. But it's so you need your girlfriends because I'm like, he doesn't want to hear me analyze waterproof mascara and what boots I want and what are my thoughts on this and that. It's a different relationship. So I think you need both because then when you come back together, you've got things to talk about. Because when you've been married 17 years, I mean, we know all of each other's stories.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're not making new stories, we're out of things to talk about. So
I want to fill you guys in. I'm just taking everything in because I am not married yet, and so you're probably thinking, why is it Alana talking? I'm just listening and making mental notes here. Okay, remind myself later in life.
Well, that's just the good part. Let's talk about the worst part.
I'll have to keep note to this too.
Yes, they want real food for dinner. Any spouse.
It's a real bummer. We want meat and potatoes. I always say when my husband's gone and it's just my daughter and me, I'm like, we can just eat cereal, we can heat up some soup, we can do whatever. But
cereal.
I mean, it's a meal. meal. It's a meal in itself.
I think women always feel that way.
Yeah.
You're like, I could have a salad for dinner. I don't need meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
real
hit your
food.
top 3 here, and then also agreeing on how to spend money.
Yes, I think that to me, that is the biggest shock. I think when you get married and all of a sudden you share a checkbook, because what I think is important, I always say I'm in charge of the pretty and he's in charge of the practical. That's it. You know, so like he wants to spend money on things like insulating our attic. And I'm like,
Smart.
I want to spend money on things like a new couch or, you know, a new entertainment
17 years
center
on that
or-
couch, you're gonna need a new one.
That's it. We do. We do. We just ordered one, as a matter of fact.
Finding what you want.
Yeah, that's it. I got it.
I
got
love
it.
this. It's like girl talk up here, Esteban.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Thanks.
fitting right in this morning. All right, Michelle, let's talk about you. For worse. The 1 year, the 12 months you guys have been together, what has been some downfalls?
Well, I think that when you move in with somebody, it's always like a little bit tough. And I'm the type of person, I cannot go to sleep with dishes in the sink or that sort, like anything that's around, I want to make sure it's gone before we go to bed. But he's happy to leave the dishes in the sink for like a week. Also, I hate that he doesn't cap the toothpaste. I hope he's watching because cap the freaking toothpaste. I'm sorry.
Take note,
Yeah.
guys. Take note.
All right, it's okay, husband at home. You've heard what the ladies have to say. Now it's time to hear what the fellas have to say. We got their thoughts on marriage, and this will be after the break. And trust me, you're gonna want to know what us guys have to say about the best and the worst parts about matrimony. So, ladies, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Welcome back. You just heard what the ladies had to say. Now it's time to hear what the fellas have to say. Paul Greco, Travis Rodriguez, and of course myself are going to chime in on this for the best and the worst. But I hear there's not a worst.
No, I'm an expert. No, I'm an expert at this. I've done it twice.
Ooh.
So I'm going to consider myself an expert.
Honesty is the key here.
Yes,
So you have
No.
more to tell us then.
absolutely. I've seen the bottom of the barrel and the highs of the high.
Very good. All right, let's talk about highs today. Travis, let's start with you. What are some of the best parts about marriage?
Well, I have been married briefly. But I will
counts.
say that one of the best parts about marriage is really building that relationship, having that camaraderie, that passion every single day that you get to build memories together. And I'll also say that whoever came up with the slogan, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup, has never woken up to a beautiful woman every morning.
Oh my
Stop
goodness.
it.
Yeah. That's my
Okay.
favorite
All right.
part of the day.
This segment was
Give him a
before,
hug.
dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
very good. All right, now beat that. Go.
Throw it out, bro.
I'm not gonna beat that. What are you kidding me?
All right.
I put the cap on the toothpaste. How's that?
That works.
Do I win?
Yes.
No.
You got to give us something that's a little
So,
positive about
yeah.
2 marriages.
Yeah. So 2 marriages. Okay, I'll go with the last one because
There
this is
you
the
go.
better one.
Okay, there you go.
For this one, I mean, obviously the relationship I have with my wife is fantastic. You know, you heard from the ladies that, you know, you have support from them. But, you know, the additional thing that my wife brings me is the fact that, you know, she's our CFO, right? She's in charge of everything at the house. And so what it allows me to do is the additional stuff to handle what I need to handle. And what it does is alleviates a lot of pressure on me for having to worry about what's going on over there. So that's been the best part, is that we've been able to split the duties within the house, and it works beautifully, beautifully. We don't have any alphas in the house. It's, you know, we're both sharing the responsibilities.
Very good. I see that both of you guys kind of generally are talking
Yeah.
about a teamwork and
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's the way it should be. It's not
Yeah,
necessarily the
totally.
way that it ends up.
Camaraderie.
Right.
But it's
But,
nice
yeah.
to hear that that's the first thing that's coming to y'all's mind. We're like, hey, what's great about marriage? It's the support. Very good. Okay, now, of course, with the high, we have to bring it down a little bit.
Yes, you know, they're talking about support, and support is very, very important. Positive support, positive reinforcement, like I said with the ladies, is an important factor in a marriage. You have to have the other person's back, no matter what it is. Right or wrong, they're right. You know, you follow them up, and then later on you talk about it. To a point.
Oh, okay.
I said
Bring
behind
it
closed
back up
doors. You
again.
just didn't catch that.
Sure.
That marriage sucked.
Yeah, I'm pretty honest in my relationship, so if I think my wife is wrong, I'm going to say that she's wrong. And I think we have built a good enough relationship that, you know, she understands that I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm Italian, you know, I come from a strong,
It's okay to
minded
be wrong,
family.
though, every now and then.
Yeah, and I'm the first in my house to say if I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong, and I have no problems admitting it. I mean, I admit it all the time. I'm wrong a lot, probably more than I should be. But you know, when you're talking about the worst things, you know,
Yes.
I mean, it becomes difficult when you know, the money thing is always, you know, contention in the house, no matter if you're dating or whatever. Like you heard earlier, when you have that joint checking account, it becomes difficult because, you know, we heard the practicals and the pretties, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is. It really
I've
is
never
that.
heard that before.
And you
Yeah,
like
that
the
makes
pretty,
sense.
right?
Yeah, and I'm always going for the pretty, you know. So, no, but it becomes difficult at times because you have to take care of things within the house.
Yeah. Travis, what do you think would be the worst?
Well, if we're talking about support, like we just were, it is really easy to start letting yourself go once you've been together for a while. So, you know, she walks around without a bra and a wife beater and the sweats and just get.
I like
but,
that.
What's
Yeah,
wrong with that?
but, you know,
That's just me, I like
we're
that.
talking like 20, 30 pounds later.
Oh.
You know, so it's not quite as sexy. But another thing is you kind of stop compromising sometimes. So, for instance, just a really quick example. I like to sleep in darkness with no television, and my ex-wife liked to do loud TV and brightness, and
Oh.
she would not compromise. So I just learned how to sleep with the TV on, and
Well,
it gets kind of tough. when you have somebody like
It'll
that.
work itself
Small
out eventually.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the years, I'm sure you guys will figure it out. Just go to the other room.
The good, the bad, the ugly. You've heard it now from both sides,
Thank you
the
for
women
sharing.
and the
You
female,
got it.
the women and the males over here. And don't go anywhere because later on in the show we're sharing your social media responses a little later.